Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to touch on a subject that I have talked about before. In fact, this was actually the first video I uploaded to my channel. Looking back, the quality wasn't very great, and I recorded it with my MacBook, so didn't even use a camera. But in that video I talked about how to get clear skin and my skincare favorites. But today I thought I would kind of like split it into two videos. First, talk about actual tips, like I wrote them down. I came prepared that actually helped me to change and transform my skin. I will mention just a couple of skincare products, but generally these are things that I have found for me have really helped. Tips people have talked about many times, and I totally stand by them. They have helped me immensely. I want to declare right away what my skin type is. I'm on birth control, and I have been for quite some time. Is one of the big factors that actually made my skin change, but my skin is still not perfect, so we'll talk about that. But before taking birth control, I had very acne prone and very oily skin. If I find a picture from my skin back in the day, I'll put it up here. I had a lot of scarring. I just used to have a lot of pimples. I'm pretty sure I also popped every single one that I could, and that obviously leads to scarring, which is in my opinion even worse than the pimple itself. After going on birth control, I would say it took about a year. Like, it really takes time for your skin to kind of like finally settle itself. My skin started to improve a lot more and be just less congested, but it became very dry. And now I have, I would say, combination skin. My T-zone is pretty oily, and my lower portion of the face tends to be a little like dry feeling. Without further ado, let's start and talk about these tips. Number one is a tip that I learned from Michelle Choi. I love her, and I remember in one of her really old videos she talked about to not towel dry your face. I knew that before, that it wasn't good, but I didn't really change anything about it. Like, I kept towel drying because I was like, oh, it can't make that big of a difference. But oh my god, let me tell you, it can. Wet cloths, like wet towels, are such a perfect space and place for bacteria to grow, accumulate, and build up. If you're using that towel then every time to dry your skin, you are putting that bacteria back onto your face. And bacteria can clog up your pores, it can lead to infection and whatever. It can do multiple bad things to your skin, and just adding that extra bit of bacteria to your face is really not doing you any favor. It's just not going to help you in any way. What she recommended, and what I also like to do, is just to kind of pat away the residue of water. Unless you're using every time a fresh new towel, I would not recommend you to towel dry your face. Second tip is to try to avoid alcohol in skincare or makeup products. Now, there are very different types of alcohol. Some alcohol are good and some are just very stripping on the skin, which is why sometimes we start to use a skincare product or a makeup product and we feel like, oh my god, best thing ever, my skin is glowy, I'm feeling hydrated, I'm feeling just so good, and then suddenly it stops working. Almost feels like it's drying us out, and that is because long term alcohol can dry out your skin. There's one in particular, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's, I think, alcohol denat. I don't know how to pronounce that. Denat in English, I don't know. It's not my first language, sorry. But that one especially is very stripping on your skin. It's simply like you have your pore, let's just say this is like your pore, you have the sebum production, and your sebum then stays on your skin. But if you're using alcohol that is really stripping, your skin will feel like, oh my god, I have to produce more to lubricate this stuff. It will produce so much that by the time you want to get the sebum off your skin, so much more has been produced, and it kind of clogs this entire tunnel because it's just too much. It can't come out and it starts to accumulate, and that also causes larger pores. I had a comment to do a video on open pores, large pores, and one of them is really trying not to be too stripping on your skin. Try to be more on the terms of calming, because if you're really using alcohol, things that are going to take away your natural sebum your skin will want to protect itself and it will produce more, and if the entire oil can't come out because it's just too much, it will start to kind of widen too much stuff in your pore and it wants to expand obviously, and then suddenly your pore looks even bigger. So be sure to not use alcohol. Alcohol, it's going to dry your skin out and then your skin will produce more. It's just not worth it. And on almost the same page is tip number 3, and that is you should exfoliate, but don't over exfoliate. Kind of goes to the same lengths. Exfoliating is important because not just the sebum is on your skin, but you probably also at some point have dead skin cells on top of your skin. And if you don't remove those dead skin cells, they can also clog your pore. And then the entire conjunction of sebum and dry skin cells, that's how sometimes we can get clogged pores. What you want to do is you can physically or chemically exfoliate. Physically can be a little bit more harsh on your skin, so if you have sensitive skin, maybe go for chemical, although that kind of seems or sounds scarier, but it's more gentle actually than like literally rubbing and scraping on the surface of your skin. I would always recommend you to go for chemical. One exfoliator that I love to use, and I have mentioned in my videos before, is from The Ordinary. It is a peeling solution, so it's kind of like an exfoliating mask. It has AHA and BHA. I love this. You've probably seen this red mask because a lot of people do like crazy thumbnails with these. It is a little bit harsher from everything I have chemically here in front of me. This is the harshest, but this works very well for my skin. I apply this 2 times a week and I feel like it really revives my skin again, because one of the actives goes really into your skin and clears out the pores, and the other active will clear out away the dead skin cells. You're kind of doing everything you need for your skin to be exfoliated. Another one that I find a little bit more gentle is the Paula's Choice exfoliator, 2% BHA. I use it in the morning. In the evening I don't, because I use a retinoid, and you should mix those together. But this is also really great to combat congested pores, because again, BHA will really make sure to get into those pores and get all the sebum and gunk out and keep pores more clean and fresh. Number 4, I think it's very important to moisturize and to be very calming on the skin. I think that a lot of people, especially when it's all about acne, I think I did that myself. I didn't want anything too moisturizing or heavy duty. We get in our heads of trying to get rid of those pimples, and we seem to even get harsh at some points with our skin, you know, scraping on the surface, trying to get rid of the dead skin cells, but in turn probably we're damaging our skin at the same time. It's very important, and let me make this clear here for everyone listening right now. If you have acne, if you have pimples, the most important thing is to be gentle. Please just be gentle. You will irritate your skin even more, cause even more skin issues. So you maybe have acne, but if you're very harsh on your skin, you might even get like super dry patches around your nose. So it's like dry but super oily at the same time. So many different skin conditions, and then you feel like there's nothing else to save you. Be very kind to your skin. Your skin is at a very vulnerable place. Your skin is always vulnerable. It always is. And you should treat it very well. I think that moisturizing is very important. Even if you have oily skin, you should moisturize. And one moisturizer that I love and I've used for a very long time, I personally have used it with dry skin. Now that I'm combination, I still love it, and a friend of mine who has really oily acne prone skin also loves it. Is the Clinique Moisture Surge Moisturizer. This is so good. It's so good. It's a gel formula, so it is really good for people with oily skin because it doesn't feel heavy, and also for people with dry skin, it just absorbs right away. I believe there is dimethicone in this though, so if you know that dimethicone clogs your pores, don't go for it. It never clogged my pores though. It never has. It has always done only good for me. I don't even know how many times I have repurchased this. This is such a great moisturizer. Another product in terms of calming now, because I think calming the skin is very important. This serum from Purito. This is my 3rd bottle now. 3rd or 4th, I don't even know. It has centella in it, Centella asiatica. It's super calming on your skin. This really makes redness go down. This is super helpful with scarring too, because it has niacinamide niacinamide in it, and niacinamide is amazing to brighten up scars, and it has peptides, ceramides in here, everything to really plump up your skin, calm your skin, and moisturize it. I always get this on YesStyle. I love it so much. It's just so convenient and easy for me. I have read a lot of reviews on YesStyle, people with very oily skin and acne like raving about this, people with dry skin raving about it. If you really want to focus on being gentle on your skin, try out that serum. It's really, really great. Since we're talking about skincare now, my fifth tip is to be consistent. If you've never really been into skincare, or if you switch your skincare routine, stick to it. Don't expect miracles within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes it can take a couple of months for your skin to really adjust to it. A friend of mine had very problematic skin, and I recommended to him like a bunch of products. He has been consistent and his skin has improved so much. It is worth it. Tip number 6. This is something that I still struggle with, and that is dairy. When I eat dairy, my skin reacts like this. It's super quick to react to dairy. I've heard that dairy products have hormones in them from the cows, and if you already have like a hormonal imbalance and you add hormones onto that, that only feeds to the problem and makes it worse, because then your hormones are like all crazy because you have like a weird cocktail there. I don't know if that is like the actual scientific reason as to why dairy can break you out. When I don't consume dairy, my skin is great, so try it. Maybe that is one of the reasons you have congested skin. Number 7 is to keep clean tools and to disinfect your products as well. I clean my makeup brushes once a week, and that works perfectly fine for me. Like, I don't get pimples where I apply my bronzer or my blush, nothing like that. If I get pimples, it's usually just here in the middle and around my mouth. And my foundation brush, I wash more regularly, every 2 to 3 days, depending on how dirty it looks. Not just cleaning the brushes is important, I think it's just as important to actually disinfect the products that you're using. When you buy products from the drugstore or whatever, make sure to rinse them with water, disinfect them with a spray. Many people have touched that and you don't know what they have touched before, and then you have those germs on your hands and then you spread them everywhere, and I think that's very disgusting. It's a pet peeve of mine when people buy something and they don't disinfect it, because I'm like, it's so dirty. Make sure that you disinfect the products, like the surface of your products, every once in a while, so that when you actually like grab a product into your hand, like I'm doing right here, I will disinfect this later because I've touched the camera I'm filming on, I have touched many different things, and those germs are on here. I know it may sound crazy to some people, but in my opinion it just makes sense. Tip number 8, and this is in my opinion, as I said, I think it's the biggest factor that changed my skin, and that was going on birth control. I really believe I had such an I can never say it, hormonal imbalance. I think my hormonal imbalance was really thriving. It was not good, because I went on birth control, and ever since I have not been struggling with acne. I get pimples every now and then, mainly because of dairy or eating very oily food. Like when I eat something oily, everything gets oily. Like my chest feels oily, my back, my scalp, like I react quickly. So going on birth control has definitely helped me in that sense. If you've tried everything and nothing seems to work, consult your doctor and ask if birth control could be an option for you. And if you're already taking birth control and it does not help, seek out professional help, because I'm definitely not a doctor. I'm just sharing my experiences, and really go to a professional. She can help you the very best. Number 9 is to not touch your face. Don't touch your face. This for me, again, I experienced this firsthand. Anytime I scratch my forehead, I get pimples. Every time I touch my face, boom, pimple. I wish that every time I looked at my bank account, money would just grow. That would be nice. But it's awful. Like, just don't underestimate the bacteria underneath your nails, the bacteria on your hands. Try to not pop your pimples or mess with it. Just leave it alone, it'll go through its cycle and then it's gone and you won't have a scar. Number 10 is to make sure you're not using products that actually trigger anything on your skin. I can't really tell you every single thing will trigger this and that, but I can tell you one thing, and that is if you have fungal acne, which are stupid little bumps on your forehead, even without you touching your forehead. And one ingredient you want to look out for to not use, just avoid it, because it feeds the fungus and it can get bigger and like spread, is shea butter. I know, if you have dry skin and you have acne, man, I'm feeling for you, because I have dealt with that. I know how hard that is. Your skin being dry but being pimply, it's awful. It's really like, I wish that upon no one. But shea butter sounds like the best thing, moisturizing and nourishing. But oh my gosh, if you struggle with fungal acne, please stay away from it. And I want to be very clear here that this moisturizer, the Moisture Surge, does not have shea butter, but the Moisture Surge Intense, which is less of a gel, it's more of a cream, that one has shea butter. I once almost bought it on accident because I thought like, oh, intense, even more moisture, and then I saw shea butter and I was so glad that I saw that, because that would have done nothing to my skin other than breaking out my forehead. If you have fungal acne, stay away from shea butter. The last and 11th tip I have for you is probably the tip that sounds the craziest. No matter how horrible you feel about your skin, how bad you think it looks, always remember your skin is there because it's trying to protect you. It's struggling on its own. Give it some love. Be very gentle towards your skin. Love yourself no matter how you look. I know it's hard and I know it's very difficult to be just like, oh, just love yourself. I know how that feels. I have struggled many years, over 10 years at this point, with pimples. In the beginning with bad acne, and now it's just every once in a while there's a pimple or 2 or 3. But nothing very major. But I know what that feels like, especially when you're young, when you're in puberty. You're already so vulnerable, and then your skin is also like doing all crazy other things. I know how that feels. It's not anything that defines you, it's just your skin. Your body does already so much for you. It'll never take away from being a beautiful human being, kind to others and loving to others. It's just skin at the end of the day. I know it's so hard to just be like, it's just skin, because I know the struggle is real. You can treat it, you can change it. It takes patience, it takes time, and it takes commitment and being consistent. But there are ways out of here. No matter in what state your skin is, love it, and appreciate that it's there for you. I hope that these tips helped you out in some type of way. If you have any other tip that you would love to share with everyone and myself, please leave it down below. I would love to incorporate new tips. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up or don't. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!